Welcome to Moon Harbor Extended. Today's issue is Cosmic, Issue 9, Beach Day. On the cover, the team stands on a strip of beach that stretches as far as the eye can see into the distance. Everyone is in beach gear and lugging coolers, umbrellas, and inflatable swimming toys. In the distance, we can see a dark cloud starting to overtake the sky. We turn the page and our story begins. So our first panel of this comic is a close-up on Jet's face, and feel free to correct me, but I think Jet has this look of just exertion and aggression, and is like, we get this like sky background. It's a close-up on his face, and he's just yelling incoming. And then our next panel, we cut back, like we pull back out, and Jet is just spiking a volleyball on the beach. All around, we see tons of various alien species, and we are on the Spring Break planet. Did we ever give that a name?
I came up with one. Give me 1 second. I need to pull up my notes. Zowie.
There's an Outer Banks pun somewhere, but I can't think of it. But
Zowie? I like Zowie.
There's probably a Tijuana pun too, but I can't think of one.
Thanks, Planet Name Generator. The beach itself can definitely have like an Outer Space Banks pun, though.
And we see like Jet involved in this really intense volleyball game. Who else is in this scene?
Well, obviously Mason, because he's the ball.
Now, Mason is his own team. I'm on the court next to it, an entire team by myself.
So there's like a team of Masons and Jets on the other team. I love that.
God, yes, we're playing Jet.
Ovi, Mel, are you all in this scene?
Ovi's not playing volleyball. She's definitely on the beach, but she's not in this game.
I know how dumb this sounds as a like pure character thing, but Mal has a massive beach umbrella, and they are sitting underneath it, but black and white striped beach umbrella. But like it's brighter under the umbrella than it is outside the umbrella because they're glowing.
Absolutely delightful.
I'm gonna say Ovi is hanging out with Mal in the sand.
Cool. And what is everyone's beach wear? Let's get a nice little fashion show bit.
The same as he always wears.
Yeah, I think Mal is just in their like Saber sponsored uniform that they've been wearing since day one. They did not want to come to this beach trip, and they are not pleased that they're here.
I guess if you're not in that suit, you're blinding everyone on the beach.
I think that we've got like a couple like variant costumes. Like there's a good stealth variant costume and a couple of other costumes that we've seen, but their standard is like short sleeve Saber costume.
Mason, are you still in like your standard?
Yeah, I think I'm in my standard outfit.
And Ovi?
So I don't think Ovi's ever been to a beach before. So I think when they first got here, Ovi asked Mal to go shopping with her. Just like, hey, I don't know what people wear to the beach. Help. So Mal, what did you pick out for Ovi?
I think we found like a 1900s style like one-piece bathing suits with like the skirt attached to it. Like 1920s. Yeah, like the 1920s style like flapper era bathing suits with like, I think Ovi probably picked out the stripe colors because they probably had a bunch of different styles of this.
Oh, I'm about this.
What color did you pick, Ovi?
You said the umbrella was black and white.
Yeah.
I probably just went to go match with the umbrella.
And I think we see a flashback panel of us buying the umbrella and the bathing suit and swiping it to Saber card. Like we have like Saber sponsored money.
Fantastic. And Ovi, you said you were over with Mal. Did you have a conversation you want to have there, or?
Not yet. Since it's her first time on the beach, she's definitely very distracted by just feeling the sand and like getting used to that sensation. So like probably later, but not right away.
Okay, cool.
Mel also has headphones on. Saber made like special like wireless headphones that I can wear, and I have music playing, so I'm not listening to the world.
I'm also imagining that Jet keeps suspiciously counting the Masons to make sure I'm not cheating.
Now the real question, are you?
I'm not cheating, but I think Jet is.
There might have been some water coming with that ball.
So how many players are we playing volleyball with, Jet? Are we doing, because the like competition rules, it's 2v2, but I think like more casual, it's usually like more 4v4.
I'm trying to think, like in the established canon, how would I have gotten anybody onto my team?
That's why I'm asking. I'm trying to figure out who's on your team.
I mean, it is Spring Break Planet.
Okay, so somehow his attempts must have succeeded at getting a whole crew of girls onto his volleyball team.
I think you've got 3 girls on your team, and they're suspiciously into you.
Except for one who is just staring at their phone.
Right.
But she's like really good at volleyball. Like she's staring at her phone, but like without even looking up, can just like hit it out of the air. It's very impressive.
Ugh, I love that. So I think we get several panels of just kind of establishing this whole place, and there's as I said, a ton of different alien races here. We see this volleyball game going on in the background, and our next panel we see Mal and Ovi by the umbrella, and I think we get a close up on Ovi's face, and then we're gonna get a flashback panel. Ovi, where do you want to set like the research you did, however you wanted to have done your move? Your when time passes move.
What was the name of that like asteroid belt area or like space trash where everybody congregated?
The fold?
Yes, that's it. Because I can totally remember what things are called. Yeah, I think she was trying to find ways to do research on the fold, since I think we said that was a place we were trying to make into like a base.
Yeah, Saber rented some offices for you all there, like office and is barracks the right word? I don't know. Dorms. There we go. And if you want to go ahead and roll that move.
I got a 9. Yeah, so the move is we changed it to when time passes, but roll plus savior to find out how your investigations into the timeline have been going. On a 7 to 9, you found a lead. Choose one figure above or one aspect of the future world, and the GM will tell you what lead you have to learn more about their path. What Uvi was trying to look into was the one name that I have on my rolls, which is Jet. I think after the events of what happened and Jet being kind of pissed that, well, not kind of, very pissed that he turns out to be a villain, she wants to find out more about that.
Okay, excellent. And what kind of research do you, like, how does Ovi do research? Like with Anagram, it's normally visions. Is Ovi actually like doing research on Jet?
Yeah, I think so, because she doesn't have like magical visions. It's just trying to, I think it's kind of a mix of like doing research on Jet, and she's probably found somebody in the fold to help as like kind of like psychiatrist therapist, because like what's causing her to not remember is trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So if she can try to work through that, maybe memories will surface.
Okay, cool. So I think we get several panels here of like what's kind of like a day in the life for you on this station. And at the end of it, we see like you with a lot of files laid out. And on one of them, we see like a dossier on the company Lunar Wharf Transportation Research, which I think there's an editor's note that says the company that made Jet who he is. And we see a bunch of other files and you linking them together, like subsidiaries of various companies, which I probably should have made names for at some point, but I didn't. So yeah. But the subsidiaries of that company and like ownership chain and like trying to find basically where the buck stops with that company.
Is it like an intangible mess of shell companies?
Yeah.
Freaking
Like-
corporations.
Yeah, and like they seem to have their fingers in a lot of different things. There's like a space oil drilling company that is owned by the same parent company. There's a lot of like very specific technology companies. And I double checking the move. I have to give you a path forward to learn more, right?
The GM will tell you what lead you have to learn more about their path. So I get a lead.
I gotta invent an evil company name. Does anyone have a good evil company name?
Evil Incorporated?
Ah, that's perfect. Okay, I got it. We get the panels of you like pouring through this, doing your research. And I think our last panel of this flashback is like you writing in the parent company that you've found, which is All Systems.
Nah.
Okay, cool.
Well, that's not ominous at all.
I mean, not at all.
Yeah, I guess we see Ovi circle it with like a question mark.
And if you're good, we can cut back to the present from there. Unless you want anything else out of that flashback.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, actually, I think our last panel or panels of that flashback after you circle the name, I think is Mal. Tell me if this isn't okay. I think is Mal entering the room and saying, "Hey, we got orders from Saber. We have to take a vacation." Mal, good with that?
Yeah, that's great. That works perfectly.
Go. Might as well explain why you're all here. And then I think from there we cut back to the beach. In the background, like we go to the same panel, seeing Obi and Mal by the umbrella, the game in the background. We see like the game is.
You see that Mason is completely destroyed. Right?
You wish.
Oh god, do we have to figure out who wins this? Because I was about to end it.
I can say how it's going. So I think that Mason is just really good at defense. So like Jet's team can never score a point, but neither can Mason's team. So they've been playing like the first point for the last 30 minutes.
Yep.
So does this game end when people just give up?
Yup.
Excellent. Yeah, I think we see the game like ending behind you all.
The ball just lands on the top of the net and stops there. And we're all just staring at it, waiting for it to fall, and it never does.
And I think the one player that was been looking at her cell phone the whole time just kind of glances at the ball and goes, I think that's a good enough sign. We're done. And okay, so does anyone have any scenes they want to hit before we start pushing towards like the core of the action here? Just breaking out of the game for a second.
I'm good. You can move on.
Yeah, I think I'm good for now. I know eventually Ovi needs to talk with Mal, but probably not yet.
I think last session we did the thing where Mal took influence away from Mason, but I don't think we did any narrative stuff to reinforce that. So I don't know if we have to do a scene with that this session or not, or any session, or
That's up to you all if you want a scene specifically addressing it.
I mean, I don't think we have to, because it's more of a mental thing where Mal doesn't trust Mason, and it'll come up once we get main plot stuff coming in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Mal?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that if Mason were to try to talk to Mal right now, Mal would get up and leave.
Cool. That's all I needed to know.
Actually, yeah, why don't we start with that? Like, we see the game finish up, and then Jet and Mason walking over towards Mal and Ovi. You both okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Works for me.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I think we had a close up on Mal's face, and they look up and see Mason and Jet coming over, and they're like, "Hey, Ovi, I'm gonna go get a soda. Do you want anything?"
No, thanks.
Great. And I think like the second Mason gets over there, Mal gets up and leaves.
And Ovi looks super awkward.
Since the events of the last issue, I think Mason has been like very emotionless and acts like he didn't even see that it was connected to him.
So here's a question. When Mal leaves, do we get a panel of Mason looking after Mal, or is it just not at all?
I think we do see a panel of him, so the reader should know that he notices. So probably some panel where he looks, but there's like no sign of emotion there.
Excellent. And Jet, your like team is dispersing, as in your volleyball team, not your superhero team. What are you doing during this?
I'm looking back and forth between my duties and my obligations. I don't know which is which. And you just see me in the background. I am reaching out to one of the girls walking away, but you can't see any dialogue.
You know what? I think I want you to go ahead and give me a provoke. I want to see if you get that number.
Is that mundane?
Superior. For some reason, we've been playing Masks this long, and I still have to check provoke every time.
Dang!
I was really hoping that one would be a miss.
Yeah, and I think we see... Does anyone want to give a description for her? Does anyone have any ideas?
Oh yeah, I'd come up with since Icy had asked us to come up with some sexy aliens. She's like basically a mermaid, but like with two tails, and so she can walk on them. And
Oh my god.
most of her body is pretty scaly. Like she's got some like regular flesh on most of her hands and then parts of her face. So it's kind of like the scales are like overtaking the regular flesh.
Excellent. And we see her hand a flip of paper to Jet and kind of like smile and walk off. As Jet walks over to join Mason and Ovi.
As he's walking over, he does that hair whip thing, like, yeah, just another day in the life of Jet.
I love that so much.
We get a panel of Ovi rolling her eyes as dramatically as possible.
I think we get a panel of Mason, like the same panel that noticed Mal, but that notices Jet with the same lack of response at all.
That's fine, because nobody's noticing Mason.
And in the background of this panel, like far back at the very edge of the beach, the readers are seeing the sky start to darken a bit in like one particular spot.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I know. It's the worst. Mal, did you want any scene while you were off, or did you just not want to be here?
I mean, if you want to throw a sexy alien at me, I'm happy to reject the fuck out of that sexy alien. But also, it's up to you. I don't really care one or the other.
Yeah, let's cut over to Mal. Mal, where are you at the moment?
Mal's like third in line at the concession stand. There's a there's a boardwalk, but it's like levitating, like it floats. So it's basically like a floating raised platform that kind of like moves around the beach. It moves slow enough that you can like step on the stairs as it moves past you, but like it's moving around. So Mal had like moved over, taken the stairs up, and we see them in line, I think for like a smoothie place, like a cold beverage smoothie kind of place.
Excellent. And Mal's not happy about being here, right? Am I getting that right vibe right?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you couldn't tell by their expression, you can tell because we cut into the lyrics of the song that they're listening to, and it's Megadeth, like angsty, angry, heavy metal Megadeth. Yeah, it's dark.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, the song is In My Darkest Hour by Megadeth. It's great.
I think we get the panel of like you with headphones in, like kind of facing the reader. And in the background behind you, the reader is seeing people starting to panic a bit. Like we can't see what's going on, but this like dark spot in the sky is getting closer and closer. And we can see people like running towards but past Mal. And I think we get like the big old music notes and from the loud music in Mal's ears. And we see this dark spot in the sky moving closer and closer. And I think we are going to cut back to the group, back on the beach.
Would we notice this dark spot coming closer?
At this point, if you want to, yeah. It is a distance off, but you know it is in the distance in the direction Mal went.
You know, it's kind of been bothering me. How do you have a planet that's all beach? I mean, there's got to be a part that's not beach, right?
And I think at that, we get like a zoomed out panel showing the planet from like an overhead shot of the planet.
God damn it.
And the planet is just like strips of land that are just like a big strip that goes from pole to pole. That's just like green down the very middle and then beach on both sides and then a bit of water and then another strip. And it's very much an artificially created planet to make as much beach as possible.
Incredible.
Mason just looks confused because he's never seen the sea before, so it's like, I don't know.
Ovi would probably look back at where Mal went off to, and I guess if the dark shape is that way, might notice it.
Yeah, you see what looks like it's basically just a very, very dark storm cloud, which wouldn't be concerning on most planets, but on this planet, it's perfectly beautiful, clear skies at all times. And you also see a lot of movement, like people starting to kind of run in your direction away from that direction. It's still a fair distance off from where you are, so you're not hearing anything, but there's definitely something going on.
Can I assess the situation?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is superior. And that is a 7.
All right, on a 7 to 9, ask 1.
As tempting as 21st century studies is, I think I'm going to go with what here is in the greatest danger.
Okay, what does you assessing look like? Like, what's the panel of you like checking this out? Are you just looking that way? Are you climbing up on something?
Yeah, I think like looking around to see everybody running away and then doing that thing where like you put your hand above your eyes to block out the sun and like staring at this dark cloud.
Okay, excellent. As you're looking out, you see the clouds starting to move in closer, but you also see the cloud is getting bigger and starting to spread. Then down below on the ground, you see a group, probably the closest group of running people to you. You see the sand start to move like around them, and this black viscous like goo kind of slurps up out of the sand, and you see them fall as it grabs around their ankle and starts dragging them into the sand. So that guy specifically, but the people, like the crowds in general, are in the greatest danger.
I don't like that. Is there like, we've established that there's shopping. So is there like a section that's not quite beach, but is more like shops not on the sand?
Okay, so my proposal here, and this is entirely because Mal threw out that whole like floating boardwalk, is that the majority of shops and like hotels and stuff like that are on floating platforms that just up above. So everyone like that imagery?
I love that.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Ovi's gonna look over at Mason and Jet and just say like, hey, we should get up on the boardwalk like as fast as we can.
Yes, Captain.
Nobody ever notices when I say anything smart.
Ovi's just not going to answer either of those comments and just head towards the boardwalk.
Oh, excellent. As you're all heading towards the boardwalk, you do see that guy get pulled straight up under the sand. Throughout like the beach, you start seeing these like viscous tentacles reaching up and grabbing at people. Is everyone heading to the boardwalk?
If people are screaming, I kind of think that I would start to hear them and then start taking things more seriously.
Oh yeah, like turning around, like looking out of the situation. Yeah, something big's going on. I think people are now close enough. You can start hearing people yelling. One guy's been pulled under completely, but you haven't seen anyone else be pulled under all the way.
See, I'm not really one to leave where something big is going on. I'm gonna start walking towards that area.
And Mason, where are you going?
Well, I think at this point, Mason whistles, and you can see that the beach at the opposite side from where we were before, there's also a team of Masons playing volleyball against another team. And they look up and they come over. So there's now 5 Masons.
I was just imagining like a all Mason volleyball tournament.
Something like that. Like who knows how many beaches he's playing volleyball on right now. So yeah, they walk over and he walks in the direction that Ovi is walking, which I think is towards the platforms.
Yeah, though actually, good question. I see the boardwalk is moving. Is it moving towards or away from this storm?
My thought is that it kind of like is in like a circular floating pattern, so it touches down at certain points to let people on. So I think it's currently moving away from the storm, but the storm's also moving in the same direction, but it's going to eventually like loop back around into it.
Cool.
Does that
Good
make
to know.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you just running or walking to it, or are you portaling? How are you getting there?
Since I can see it, well, I guess I look to see Jet running off towards it, and I guess she'll like extend her hand to Mason. Like she's clearly gonna teleport, but if he wants a lift, he can join.
I'm gonna grab the hand.
And teleport onto the boardwalk.
Cool. I want you to unleash your powers.
Of course.
Not because it's difficult for you to teleport, but because, I mean, things can go terribly wrong.
And that is an 11.
Whoop whoop.
Okay. So you're just teleporting, not opening a portal, right?
Yeah, that would take even longer. Teleporting is faster.
Excellent. What does it look like when you just teleport? I actually can't remember.
I think we see, like, basically as soon as Mason grabs onto her hand, she was already looking not at Mason, but at the boardwalk. And we basically just see them like a panel where they're just gone from where they currently were. And then we see them just appear on the boardwalk.
Ah, excellent. Magician style.
Oh, yeah.
I think the 4 extra Masons just look and see the 5th Mason disappearing and just sort of just shrug, take their volleyball and go back to the beach.
I'm going to toss in one detail that might change what they do. Because as we see the panel of Ovi and the 1 Mason disappearing, we see these like black tentacles grab where their legs just were.
Yeah, they still walk away.
Okay, cool. I'm good with that. And I think we're gonna jump to Jet. So Jet, you were running towards like where these like the majority of these tentacles are grabbing people down.
Yes. Well, or at least I'm walking that way. I mean, depending on how urgent it seems, I'm walking or running.
Oh, you did see someone get pulled fully under, and several more are like in the middle of that process.
Yeah, okay. That's a running situation.
Excellent. I think that to throw it out there, like you see like two different people that are currently being grabbed by these tentacles, and you can still see like the indentation in the sand where the one person was pulled under. Where are you heading?
Is there more than one choice, really?
I mean, you could do anything you want.
I'm heading into the fray.
Towards like one of the people that's currently being grabbed down.
Yeah.
Awesome. What are you doing when you get there? Like to the first person?
Well, as I'm running there, I think I'm gonna shout, "Hey, Ovi, what's the game plan?" And then I'm gonna look behind me.
Can I even hear him?
Y'all have communicator tattoos.
How does everybody keep forgetting those?
After I see that she's not there behind me, gonna pull my. Where's my tattoo?
Wrist?
I assume Jet has a tramp stamp. Sorry, a champ stamp.
God damn it.
All right, just gonna throw my wrist up in front of my face. Ovi, there's kind of a situation going on here.
And Ovi puts her wrist up to her mouth. Yeah, and it's pulling people into the sand. I don't know what to do yet, and Mal isn't here. I don't know how to fight a cloud.
Well, I don't know how to fight a cloud alone. When and if I reach the person, I'm just gonna start pulling on them
Cool. Give me a defend.
and releasing water if necessary.
Yeah, when you start pulling on them, it's pulling back very hard.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Can I spend a team?
If you can tell me how you help.
Yeah, since he got a 6. As he's pulling this person up, Ovi opens a portal right next to him, so that way when he gets this person up, Ovi can just pull the person through and get them to safety.
Cool. That brings it up to a 7, and we're at 0 team. Let's defend. So you can either expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation, Jet. Which one do you want to do?
I'm going to expose myself to danger.
Okay. And do you want to add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear condition?
To add a team to the pool.
Okay. And I think this is our like pseudo mermaid woman from earlier. That we get a panel of her like falling through the portal onto the boardwalk. And I think we see Jet like starting to head, or like we see Jet through the portal, and then we see this tentacle wrap around his chest and start dragging him down into the sand.
Shit, I want to try to get him out.
What are you doing?
I guess if I still have the portal open, I'm going to lean forward to try to pull him through.
Give me a defend.
Oof.
This is one of those like, we don't defend enough. Let's have an entire game of defense. We've done it with provoke before. I think we can do it with defend.
That is an 8.
What choices would you like?
I'm going to expose myself to danger and... Oh, wait, nope. Oh, I fucked up. I am insecure, so that is a -2, so that is actually a 6. I'm sorry.
All right. We do have one team.
Yeah, I can push your team, push you to 7.
Cool. How are you helping?
Jet doesn't want your team.
So what are you doing exactly, Ovi?
I have a portal open to where Jet is, and I'm leaning forward to try to pull him through.
And what's stopping her?
Like I'm imagining the panel looks like on the left we've got the two of you, Ovi kind of like leaning through the portal, and like it's cutting through the like it's the portal's like in the white space between panels, and we see Ovi leaning into the other panel, like grabbing Jet's arms with both hands, and then the like black sludge tentacle grabbing around Jet's waist trying to pull him down. And you can see like Ovi very much straining against this, and probably starting to get like pulled into the portal more herself.
I think at Jet's side there's a mason that jumps in and pulls out Jet's leg and then poofs.
Oh, I like that. And that pushes it to a 7.
Okay, so then...
That roll traveled, went from 8
Yeah.
to 6 to 7.
Yep. Same thing, expose myself to danger, and I'm going to clear a condition, says, I feel like I'm going to need to defend somebody again.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So we get the Mason like digging down, pulling Jet's leg out, and we see you like Ovi start to win this tug of war. Jet slips out, falls through the portal onto the boardwalk, and then right before the portal closes, the tentacle lashes out and just slaps Ovi to the ground.
On the boardwalk or like on the sand side of the portal?
On the boardwalk.
Okay.
We see the portal snap shut. The tentacle like gets cut in half. It quivers a bit and kind of turns into a liquid and just starts dripping down below the boardwalk. But if you go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow for me. This thing hit you with a lot of force.
Good thing I just cleared my only condition. Never mind, that's a 12.
I knew that was going to happen.
All right. I'm going to lose control of myself and my powers in a terrible way.
Awesome. Do you know what that looks like?
I do not. I'm trying to think. I feel like it involves somehow remembering the future in some way, but I'm not sure how.
Okay. So I think what we get on the panel for now is we see Ovi on the ground on the boardwalk, and we get a shot of her like slowly pulling herself to her feet, and she like wipes some of this sludge away from her face, and we see her eyes, and they're just rage. And I'm going to cut over to Mal. Mal, we've got the panel very much similar to the one from before, but like at this point you are at the front of the line. The line is actually kind of just gone. And I think this is at the point at which you're like, wait, something's wrong. So I think we get the panel of you kind of standing pretty much alone, looking around, and then taking out your headphones.
Can I make a suggestion for that panel?
Yeah.
Can we see the very end of that where like Ovi gets like hit and knocked back over and like everyone comes tumbling through the portal? So we see that from behind. So it's like Mal's face like in the foreground and all of this happening behind Mal. And like their headphones are still on so they can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. I'm into that.
And then I think I like noticed the shadow because I cast a lot of light, so the shadow didn't affect me as much. And then I like take one headphone out and hear the like chaos. And then we just get a like small text bubble where it was like, can't even have a goddamn vacation. Okay. And then I turn and see this chaos happening. Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets, T.B. Huth, and Elliot Peterson, and edited by Anthony Sheets and Sean Geddes. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at IcyNewYear.com. T is a theater artist and educator in the DC area. She can be found at THuthPlaywright on Twitter or TPHuth94 on Instagram. Elliot can be found at Elliot Ylen on Twitter. That's ELLIOTYLEN. Sean can be found at The Crumpit, THECRUMPIT, on Twitter. Moon Harbor Heroes is played using Masks: A New Generation, written by Brendan Conway and produced by Magpie Games. The music in this issue is Work by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or on Patreon at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. This issue is GM'd by Anthony Sheets. Stardust is played by T. Huth. Portali is played by Elliot Peterson. Jet is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at itsexphp on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Mason is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him as at Gilbereka, GILBERREKE on Twitter. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice or tell a friend. 5-star reviews and word of mouth are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out at patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus issues each month. And thank you for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.